Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beaconhouse Old Student Society, Boss Memory Lane. Beaconhouse BOSS is all about building a community together. Today, we are very privileged and honored that our alumnus, distinguished alumnus, is with us. He graduated from Beaconhouse Juniper Campus, Quetta in 1991. He is part of the Federal Bureaucracy of Pakistan Director Audit and Account Service. Currently, he is writing a research novel also. We have Hayder Javed Khan with us. Let's welcome Hayder Saab on Boss Memory Lane. Assalamu alaikum ji.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you so much for a very kind introduction.
Thank you so much. It's our honor that you are with us. And let's take a trip down the memory lane. Your fondest memory at Beaconhouse?
One of the fondest memories was a non-uniform day, and there was nothing fond about it. Everybody was just dressed in all kinds of fancy and dandy clothes. But me and one of my friends and I, they decided that we'll celebrate it differently. So what we did was, earlier we thought we would dress like Arabs with turbans and all that.
Right, okay.
And even thought of hiring a camel in which to come to school. But somehow or the other, we could not get hold of the right attire. So then, my friend said that, let's do it in a different way and let's wear burqas and pose as women.
Okay.
Now, the biggest challenge was that, I'm not exceptionally tall, but the kind of burqa that was required for me was not available readily. So we kept looking at where to find it, because we couldn't obviously get it stitched. So one of the girls' mother, she was very tall. So I requested her, and she was, totally, she was at a loss for words. She said, "Why do you need that for?" So we had to, confide in her.
Right.
Then I had another friend. He was not at that point. Now he's taller than me, but it was a growing age, so he was not very tall at that point in time. So we got his burqa from some other source through a reference of her.
All right, okay.
And early morning, we didn't tell this to our parents, obviously, because they would have doubted our sanity. Not that they did not otherwise, but at that point in time. So I remember it was, I think it was nearly autumn that we assembled at my place early morning. And we got ready, and somehow or the other, with evading the glances of my mother and other family members, we went out. And I remember that we couldn't go by the bus that we were going, and we stopped a rickshaw. And the rickshaw, when I started speaking, the rickshaw wala just felt so strange. He just, ran away. He did not. So somehow or the other, I think there was one, we told him what was going on, and he laughed, and we went. And I think the school bell was just about to ring when we reached, and we were in that burqa and everything. And it was Sir James Last, who was our principal at that point in time. He has a lot of, there's a lot that we owe to him. A lot of people in the Beaconhouse. So I remember the entire school was in stitches. And we were laughing, and the assembly belonged to us. We were called on the stage, and Sir James Last really, he made everybody clap for us. Everybody was clapping for us. And at that point in time, it was just fun. But now I think it was the defining moment in our lives. Not that we did not have other moments. We had wonderful moments. But this was so funny because nobody expected it.
Of course.
So, nobody not only expected it, we were so daring.
To describe your school life in 3 words, what would that be and why?
Very interesting question. And it's, I think 3 words would be too little, but I'll do my best. It would be exciting, a learning experience, and evolutionary.
Okay.
Because because I am what I am because of my school years in school. I keep telling my friends, my students, the kind of school you're sending your children to affects you tremendously. The peer group, the peer pressure, that is what eventually matters, and that is what makes them into what they are. Because the ages from 11 to 15, they are the most impressionable ages. Obviously, the first 5 years of a person's life are the most important, they say, but then even these years matter a lot.
Absolutely.
So yes, I think that's
right. What aspect of your school life which you really miss nowadays?
Oh, I miss each and every aspect of my school life. There's very little. I miss the early morning assemblies. I miss the sports we played. I miss the classes that we took, and we were not very studious. I'll be very honest. I don't want to lie. Not that I advocate not being that, but we were the first batch, and you have to remember every school is struggling when they are just graduating the class every year. We joined in grade 7, then we had grade 8 as we got promoted, then we had grade 9. So it was a very struggling phase for Beaconhouse. So our relationship with our teachers was that of a family, and we had such close relationship, which is not thinkable today.
Do you remember their names?
Oh yes, I remember their names. Of course, there is Sir Sharik Naseem. I hear is in Dubai now. And we had Sir Mukarram Ansari. He is also a civil servant. He took CSS exam during those days. I think he's in customs. He's working at a very senior position now. We had Mrs. Rais, who was a phenomenal chemistry teacher, and we owe a lot to her. She was like an elder sister, a mother. And then we had Sir Nadeem Sheikh, who was the sports, and then we had Amanullah, who was a coordinator. We had Mrs. Zahir, we had, and yes, in English, we had Mrs. Bilal, who was just like a mother to us. And all these people, we had and there was obviously Sir Salim Kakad, who was the headmaster, and we were actually, hamari tange kaam jati thi unko dekh ke. He was, because we were actually we were 6 boys, 6 girls.
Right, okay.
So the boys, apart from Faisal and Zubair, we were into everything, every activity. So we were not, we were not rude, or we did not ever take jokes too far. But considering those times, we were far ahead. We were in another league.
So what is one thing about your current profession you really like about it and you're passionate about?
Yes, I think the biggest thing that civil service has taught me is that it's not what the country can do for you, but what you can return to the country. And that is the biggest satisfaction. Because a civil servant is supposed to be there for the people. And that is what really drives me. I do whatever I can in my humble capacity to redress the grievances of the people, and do my work with professional honesty, and I think this is what keeps me going.
Pearls of wisdom which were said to you and stayed with you, and you followed them.
Well, this is again very interesting questions, and there are so many things actually. I still remember one of the things that one of my sports teacher wrote on my shirt, and I don't know why it clicked. Well, I was basically, my father was had retired from the armed forces, and he went abroad, so I was basically spent more or less majority of my teenage with my mother. So obviously I am, alhamdulillah, very close to her. But he wrote something which somehow clicked. Probably it was because of my own attachment to my mother. He said, "Mother is next to God." So,
so profound.
It was so profound. And I think your parents matter a lot. In these times, obviously, there are so many push and pull factors. And, people, people have to put up with a lot of things in life, their service, their postings, wherever they are, they get... I think family is important. Not just your parents, I think your family is important. And I think your bonding with your roots. One of the reasons why I'm always connected to Beaconhouse, and I'm so grateful that you give me this honor today. I'm really grateful because I feel like a family to each and every one of my class fellows. One of my class fellows' daughter got married a few weeks back,
right?
And that was in Lahore, because I'm currently in Lahore.
Right.
So that was phenomenal, because I was telling her, I said, it was just yesterday that you were in our class, and I can't believe that you have a daughter who's getting married.
Right.
So time actually flies.
That's a circle of life.
But yes, I really feel a strong bond with each one of my class fellows, and I try to reach out to them whenever I can. And I'm in contact with 6 or 7 of them.
Right.
So it is really, I think, if there was anything I could, I would say to people is, look after your relationships, make beautiful memories. Life is about your personal achievements, but your personal achievements would mean nothing if you do not have people to share them with. And that is what makes you an exceptional person, the kind of bonding you have with people, and that is where the purity of a relationship lies.
What would you like to say in the end to the young minds of Beaconhouse?
Time is very important. Every year when we were young, we didn't realize that. But time gradually passes, and then in a jiffy you just remember that 20 years have passed. It seems like yesterday. It's been 27 years, 26 years almost that I left Beaconhouse. So I think what is important is to do justice to the time that is available to you, because it would not come back. I'm not saying you should not indulge in extracurricular activities. I mean, I of all the people had millions of extracurricular activities, but I think your academics matter. Right. No matter what you do, no matter what you want to do in life, I think it is very important to have your foundations very strong.
On this positive note, we end our Boss Memory Lane. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Beaconhouse Old Student Society, BOSS, building a community together.